Alright, let's go on with the transition now that I've moved from high school to college. The college that I was located in, which now I graduated, was the University of Rochester, which was 6 hours away from where I lived, and it was near Canada. It was like 2 hours away from Toronto. So I started off going into a summer program that helped me get like extra credits in the beginning of the year. And when I went there, I basically was in a pool of people that I didn't really necessarily... Basically, I was with Hispanic and black people in this place. And again, I'm not trying to be racist or anything, but in high school, I transitioned from that to like hanging out with white and Asian people. So to go back to that again, I felt like, oh no, these people are not going to connect with me in any sort of way. So when I was there, you know, I didn't want to be a sourpuss either. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, you guys don't understand me. No, I still spoke to a lot of people. I basically did what I did in senior year, which was just become a floater. I just spoke to people in a very like nonchalant kind of way. And because of that, I started hanging out with a girl who was also from New York City, who also went to a school right next to me. And that ended up becoming a relationship, even though in my eyes it wasn't a real relationship. It was just more like a fucking kind of thing. The reason why I say that is because all we did was, we didn't have sex, but all we did was just hang out, and I played with her boobies. She was the biggest chested girl that I've been with ever, who was like big chested and wasn't fat. So I was like happy about that, and I was like, alright, well, if she likes me and I get to touch her boobies, that's all that I care about. But there was nothing very serious about it. We both knew that we weren't gonna be really... I knew I wasn't gonna be really close to her as soon as the semester started. So, you know, it was just more of like a fun kind of thing. At the end of the day, everyone was just trying to have a good time. The area that we were with, like the program that we were with, allowed us to dorm in already. So people wanted to have sex with one another, but that wasn't allowed. And the only one that literally, I think, pushed through and got it was probably me, because everyone trusted me. They were like, "Oh no, you're not doing anything with that girl, are you?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm not. We're just hanging out. Like literally, we are just hanging out. If you want to just knock in, and you'll see that we're just hanging out." They did that like the first 2 times, and then they stopped coming in because they knew that we weren't doing anything. The way that relationship started was a little bit weird. We just started hanging out. Like, her friend was hanging out with my roommate, and I was hanging out with her roommate. And yeah, basically we were just both hanging out in 2 separate beds, and it was just more of like a fun time. Like, my roommate and his potential girlfriend, who was super hot, she was like she was a virgin, but also she was like, you know, I'm not trying to do naughty things, therefore I'm just gonna try to be here with my friend who's also with me. And me, I was just like joking around. I would always like, for me, I would always just be the guy who would like make fun of girls, and I would always do that just, you know, as an effort of like, yeah, we're just joking around, you know, it's all good, it's all fine. So I guess that's how it started, the relationship. At the end of the day, you know, we were pretty chill. It was a pretty chill relationship. I met her in New York City when I came back. I came back for a week in New York City, and then I went back to university, and it was nice. It was really chill. The only thing I didn't like about her was that she was a little too ghetto for me. A little too ghetto. So the only thing that kept me going were the boobs, honestly. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just I kept talking to I kept putting up on Tumblr and on Twitter, like I kept doing that because I kept on needing more advice. Like, man, like, is this right for what I'm doing? Like, I'm just going out with this girl because I really just like her boobs. She has nothing else to be attractive for. I like that there was a talent show for this little program, and she was a singer, so she sang, and the entire time she sang, so fucked up as I was, I just laughed the entire time in the back. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like anytime that I know someone and they just start singing, I just start laughing because I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, what made you become so real so immediately? So yeah, I don't know. I guess I was being very fucked up, but that's just the humor that I get out of Yeah, fall semester I started to hang out with her a little bit more, but then when I found out that her friends are like a little too ghetto for me, I also got in trouble with her sister who also went to the university. I basically gave that girl hickey and I got a lot of crap for it, which I guess it happens, whatever. But yeah, it wasn't long. It lasted maybe 2 weeks, that relationship, and it was just for the boobs. She had really nice boobs. So yeah, so then after that, I was just working on myself. So in the university, I met up with someone who was who I knew since like 3rd grade. It's crazy, right? I met someone who was in my 3rd grade class in that university. And from there on, I was like, yo, let's pair up and let's dominate all these girls that we're with. So we basically became, his name, strangely enough, was Adi, and mine was Ari. So it was like Ari and Adi going out every day, trying to get booze because we were 18, so we're trying to figure out how to get booze, and just getting like as many girls as possible. And that didn't last long because he decided to do something really stupid. Basically, he saw a girl. So there was a girl in my program who had a friend in her as a roommate. I don't know. Basically, they were roommates. I wanted to hang out with them because they were super chill. And my friend was like, "Yo, that would be a good idea to like, you know, just hang out with them and then maybe get more out of it because the girls in their hallways were super hot, super hot." So I was like, "All right, if we get with these girls, right, and we start hanging out with them, they'll introduce us to the new girls, the really hot girls that we want to get with, and then from there we'll move on and on." So how this happened is that we started hanging out with them to the point where we even did a slumber party. Like, it wasn't like, oh yeah, we're gonna paint our nails or anything. It was more like, we're gonna sleep in your rooms, which was weird. They thought that we were gonna sleep in their floors, but my friend was so bold that he like just threw himself on this girl's bed, and I was like, alright, I'm gonna take the other girl's bed. And we started sleeping there, and I don't know why this became a thing, but it was really funny. To this point, we still laugh about this kind of stuff because it was like really funny. And the point was to get with the other girls in the hallway. We barely got with any. I got with all the girls in the hallway basically because he was stupid. He kept on getting drunk and coming back and acting stupid. One time I remember I found him. No, someone found him, called me. I was in my room already. I was like, what? Called me and I was like, what the hell? Let me go find him. And he's basically covered in red stuff. I thought he got cut by a wolf. Like, it looked horrible. And it was just jelly. I think what happened was that he was taking jelly shots, red jelly shots, and he kept on missing. And so he kept on, like, you know, missing, and he got, like, all messed up in his face or whatever. And I had to take care of him. And because of that, he went, like, and acted a little bit, like, loud and whatever. And woke up all the other girls in the hallway. And because of that, I like also went to their rooms and I was like, hey, you know, I'm sorry for my friend or whatever. And because of that, I got to meet like the other girls in the hallway, and I started hanging out with them a little bit more, to the point where I was like, all right, these girls aren't my type, but if they were to change in front of me, I'm okay with that. I had that happen once too. A girl like changed right in front of me. She had like the best ass. It was awesome. It was great. I can't. So, yeah. The other thing I should have mentioned is that my roommate was gay. Although my best friend my friend Adi became like my best friend, and I wanted to hang out with him more, and I wanted him to be my roommate. He wasn't my roommate in the beginning. It was a gay guy, which I was cool with. I was like, alright, that's fine. That's whatever. But the thing about him was that he was, he always had a guy over, like a gay guy over, and he would always ask me like, oh, you know, there's a guy coming over, is that okay? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna go over and hang out with, Amanda, and I'll be fine with that. So I went over there and I would hang out with them, And the more that I started hanging out with this girl, the more I started to like her. So I asked her out, and we started going out. And it was more serious with her, I felt like, because in the beginning it started off as like a friends with benefits, but then because we slept in that bed all the time, it got super intimate really fast. And I felt like I was in a very serious relationship very quickly, because this was the first time that like I had slept with someone other than Shannon. Like, that's just ridiculous. So, you know, the problem with Amanda was that I was super serious about her, but she wasn't really serious about me because she was afraid of commitment, which is fine. I was her first boyfriend. She was Asian, and she didn't have like that much of like a relationship kind of thing going for her in high school because of her family. So I let that go. It was okay. The problem with her was that December I was being an asshole, and I basically just went Laureen Rosemary mode on her and made out with like a couple of girls in the club, and this club that I would go to, because I would tell her like, come to the club, and she wouldn't go, and I would be like, what the fuck? Okay. But then she would also be like, have fun, make out with a bunch of girls. I'll be like, come on, just come with me, so I don't have to make out with any girls. I could just make out with you. But she's like, no, I don't want to go, just have fun. And I was like, so what do you want me to do? Just stay, or do you want me to go? She's like, no, I want you to go. I was like, okay. So then I went, and I would make out with these girls anyway. So I was like, I don't know what's going on with this girl. The other thing that I forgot to mention is in Halloween, I also got really messed up, really drunk, and I came into her room and I threw up all over her room. And this girl, I think from then on, I started like really starting to get like to like her. Like, this girl was starting to become like a serious thing for me, just because after I did that, I threw up on her sheets, I threw up on her rug, I threw up all everywhere. I made myself look disgusting. I went over there in the morning, I cleaned up her room. She told me to get out, she never wants to see me again. And on that exact same day, I went up to her, I wanted to talk to her, and she was okay with it. She even like gave me tea because I was kind of sick, because this was the first time I ever got drunk like that, and like just blacked out and everything. So yeah, like she was just super chill about that, and I'll always remember that. And I thought like, wow, I should be like a really good guy to her, because I messed that day up for her. I basically ruined her day. And I could have ruined the relationship in general because of that. Then in December, I planned a date for her. So it was around Christmas time. I wanted to go on a date with her, and I ended up getting late because I was working. I was kind of doing an internship with CVS. So I didn't mention this before because I didn't want to get into detail, but I interned with CVS in senior year, and I was also doing a project for them when I got back from freshman year. And I got late. I ended up getting late, and it was so bad because it was about an hour 30 minutes late. It was raining, and I ran in the rain trying to look for her because I couldn't find the store that I told her that I would meet her at. She was so furious. I think that from there on, I ruined everything because, oh boy, I messed that up bad. I shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have done that, but I was just busy with internship stuff. And then when I got back from university, she told me that she wanted to break up with me. The weird thing about that was that after we broke up, she wanted to get back with me, and I'm gonna cut it off here because this is where I started to think about my life was revolving in the same circle, because as soon as we got back, things weren't the same. It was basically we got back just to have sex. It was a friends with benefits kind of thing. And I also met another girl. So I felt like it was the Rosemary Laureen thing again. The third time. Because I considered the Nessie and Rebecca thing a little bit more because Nessie was like the girl who I had to try super like 200% to be with, even though I wasn't gonna like meet her, but I felt like I had to impress her in some sort of way. And Rebecca, I didn't try at all, and I got like the love treatment. Basically, it was like Rosemary and Lorraine. So yeah, I'll talk about that next time. The next episode will be the two Asians who were after me, the Kara and Amanda story, which is pretty big in my life, considering till this day, for some god awful reason, I still have feelings for Amanda, and there's I'll have to explain it next time. So take care, and thank you for the support, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.